Well, y'all seem to like or love the Depression era videos that I've been doing. So we're going to do another one. This one is basically a potato soup that they fixed back in the day. And it consisted of celery if you got it, butter. I'm going to put this little bit of butter back in the fridge, I think. Now, I've got a little bit of bacon drippings in there as well. But back in the day, they used whatever they had. Bacon is good because you get the flavor of the bacon. Butter is real good because, you know, everything is better in butter. I mean, that's just going without saying. Everything is better with butter. But I've got about, I don't know, a little over half a cup of carrots. I've got some diced Egyptian walking onions right here. I've got chopped up celery. And notice I've got green leaves in there as well because they used everything back in the day, even the leaves on the celery stalk. I've got a little bit of bell pepper. I got one orange pepper and one little, couple of little green bell peppers. They use bell pepper. Now, I've never put bell pepper in my potato soup before. But back in the day, they did if they had it. And I've got about 1 cup of diced up ham that was left from Christmas. That package of ham I took out of the freezer. I've got 2 cups of potatoes diced up. And believe it or not, I've got the potato peels. Now, I scrubbed those potatoes real good. And back in the day, during the Depression, they might make potato salad with their potatoes, or they might make mashed potatoes, cream potatoes. They saved the peeling, though. Because guess what? If later that week they decided they wanted to make a potato soup, they didn't use the whole potato. They used the potato peeling. They diced up that potato peeling, put it right in there, and cooked it with everything else. And that's what we're going to do. I mean, I'm not only going to put my 2 cups of potatoes in there, but I'm going to put my potato peelings in there. Like I said, I've already scrubbed them up real good. I'm going to chop them up a little bit because I don't want a whole peeling in there. But you know, some people, when they make potato salad, they'll leave the peeling on their potatoes. And it's perfectly fine to do that. Because you know, you leave a lot of potato on your peeling. Yeah, while my pot's getting hot, I'm going to go ahead and dice these up. But be sure you scrub them good first. Clean out those eyes, you know. And sometimes if they knew they were going to make potato soup later that week, they'd peel the potatoes kind of thick. So they left quite a bit of potato on the peeling. Let me get over here to my pot. Okay, my pot's getting hot. I'm going to dump my onions in. I'm going to put my celery in. I'm going to put my bell pepper in. And I'm going to put my carrots in. We're not going to put our potatoes in yet. I am going to put a little bit of water in them because you know they will start getting a little dark. I'm going to end up with about three cups of potatoes, counting the peels. Because I've got about a cup of the peelings over here. But we're going to saute those a little bit. And I may want to go back and put more of that butter in there. Yeah, I think I will. I'll get that little piece of butter I put in the refrigerator, and I'm going to put it back in the pot. Or not back in the pot, I'm going to put it in the pot. That's about another 2 tablespoons. So altogether, I've got about 4 tablespoons of butter in there. But we want those to cook down a little bit because, you know, sometimes it takes a pretty good while to cook a carrot. But we want that bacon drippings and we want the butter to just get all over those veggies that we got in this pot. But I bet you never thought to, when you peeled, you know, like if I'd have thought about it the other day when I made my potato salad, I peeled my potatoes, I would have kept those peelings, and today instead of using more potatoes, I would have chopped up those peelings and made my potato soup. That way I could have saved these potatoes for something else. And that's the way they did back in the Depression day. They made their food stretch as far as it will go. And there's nothing wrong with making a soup with the potato peelings. Because like I said, a lot of people, when they make a potato salad, they'll wash their potatoes real good and just chop them up and leave the peeling on them and put them right in the pot. And when you make your potato salad, your potatoes have the peeling left on them. I don't care to do that. I'd rather peel them, but some people like it that way. I'm going to cook these just a few minutes, and then I'm going to add in my ham. So that was about 4 tablespoons of butter. You could add more if you don't have the bacon grease, because I had probably at least two tablespoons of bacon grease. Now you can put any kind of seasoning that you have in this that you like in your soup. But back in the day, they basically didn't put a lot of seasoning in there. The carrots, the celery, the onions, the bell pepper was the seasoning. And that's why you sauteed your veggies first. It brings out a lot of the flavor in your veggies to get in your soup. And it's okay if you brown your veggies. I mean, if you brown them a little bit, that just makes the flavor even better. Turn the pot up a little bit. Now my veggies have been in there for a couple of minutes. I'm going to go ahead and add my ham. Because you know when you fry ham, it brings out a really good taste in your ham. And that's going to put a really good flavor in this soup, in this potato soup. So next time you make a big bowl of potato salad, and if you got 4 or 5 cups of potato peelings, make sure you wash those potatoes off good and you save those peelings. Put them in a plastic bag, put them in your refrigerator for another day when you want to make potato soup. And use those peelings to make your potato soup. Don't cut up more potatoes. And you'll have a Depression era soup. Which this is Depression era too, because, you know, if they had plenty of potatoes, which potatoes were plentiful, they usually could get all the potatoes they wanted. So usually a potato wasn't the problem. If they were running out for the week, then they might want to save their potato peelings to make them a big pot of potato soup at the end of the week. Or any other time during the week. I find Depression era cooking is not so much different than what we do today. Because today, a lot of our recipes stem from the Depression era. Those ladies, they knew what they were doing, I'll tell you. They had a recipe mind that was unending. They could take just a little bit of ingredients and make something wonderful out of it. And they left us with some really good Depression era recipes. It is smelling good, y'all. Another thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add my potato peelings in now. My chopped up potato peeling. We want to cook them fry them a little bit right along with our veggies. And I do have my burner up pretty high. I've always been interested in the water pie that stemmed during the Depression era when they wanted something sweet at the end of the meal and they really didn't have a lot of ingredients. How they took a pie crust with water and a little bit of flour and maybe some vanilla flavoring and sugar and made a pie is beyond me, but I want to try it. I've done their, I think their vinegar pie. One of their pies I did. I don't know if it might have been the water pie, but whatever pie I made, it was good with very little ingredients. My mom came up with some of the best recipes because, you know, she came right out of the Depression era. She was a little girl for a lot of it. So she remembers, or she did remember a lot of the Depression era times and what they went through with. Because you know the Depression era stemmed from about 1929 through 1939, I believe it was. And for the life of me, I can't remember what year my mom was born. But I've heard her talk about it. Because my grandparents got married in 1925. That was just before that Depression hit. There was actually 2 depressions. And a lot of people don't realize it, that we actually had 2 depressions. They kind of run neck and neck. Now this is a soup that you can add milk to if you want, if you have milk. And the good thing about it, this is a type of milk recipe that you can put heavy cream in, you can put whole milk. In my case, I'm going to put a 2% milk. My neighbors, believe it or not, Martha and Amy, and I can't remember the other lady that was with them from their church. They made some kind of church run with food, and they took a lot of the neighbors' food. I think they took a lot of food out around their neighborhood in Lake Whitney, and they brought me several cartons of 2% milk, 2 packages of sausage links, and 2 bags of chips, which were pretty good. I haven't fixed the sausage yet, but I appreciate them doing that. Because, you know, I didn't expect it. It's always nice when you get something for free. My only problem was I wasn't sure where I was going to put it. I couldn't freeze the milk, and, you know, the date was out pretty soon, and I can't drink 4 cartons of milk that quick. I'm going to go ahead and add some salt. I'm going to add some pepper. I'll probably start sneezing. This is going to be a bigger pot of potato soup than I was anticipating. But it's going to be good. I guess I should bring you over here and let you see. A little close up. There you go. You see all the veggies and the potato peelings, the diced up ham. It's going to be a really good thick soup. Because I'm not going to add that much water. Now I'm going to add the rest of the potatoes. And I'm going to let them fry a little bit in all that butter mixture. And like I said, you can brown it. You can brown your potatoes in there if you wanted to. It'll just bring out more of the flavor. I mean, you're the cook. It's totally up to you. I'm going to let it cook brown just a little bit more. And this is my dinner tonight, so I can't wait for a bowl of this soup. Yeah, the more creamier you want, you know, it kind of depends on the milk you put in, like the heavy cream, the whole milk. Like I said, I'm putting 2% in there. But if you don't want to put the heavy cream or the whole milk to thicken it up, you can add just a little bit of flour, and your flour will kind of thicken your soup up, make it a little bit creamy. Or you can, when your potatoes are cooked, you can kind of mash some of your potatoes up and make it thicker that way. Or you can add potato flakes, instant potatoes. You know, they did have instant potatoes back in the day. And a lot of times you could just add a little bit of the potato into your soup, and it will thicken it up. I'm going to go ahead and add some water in here. 2 cups of water, and I'm not going to add my milk yet. Look at that soup. I'm going to go ahead and cook those potatoes till they're done. I've got to taste it for seasoning. A little bit of the soup. That is really good. Now, some people like to put green peas in their soup. You know, back in the day, like I said, they took whatever vegetables they had and added it to their soup. But this was the main ingredients, is what I've got in this soup right here. But we're going to go ahead and cook it. And when my potatoes are done, we'll come back. Okay, I think our soup is about done. Or our potatoes are done. They look like they are. Now, if you have chicken stock, you could add chicken stock instead of the water before. Or, like I did, I put like a level tablespoon of chicken bouillon in mine as a seasoning. You don't have to do that, but you can. Now I'm going to put a cup of my 2% milk. And I did put a tablespoon of flour cut up in that. I'm going to add 2 cups of 2% milk. And like I said, you can add any type of milk you want, or you don't even have to put milk in it. You can serve it just like it was. But I wanted to make it creamy. A creamy really flavorful potato soup. Now I'm going to wait and see if that thickens up any. If it doesn't, I'll add a little bit more flour. But now all I need to do is cook that flour a little bit and let it thicken it up. And we've got creamy potato soup. Depression era. Creamy potato soup with ham. So see, eating like this was not depriving them of food years ago. I mean, they came up with some good recipes. Who wouldn't want a good bowl of creamy potato soup with diced up ham in it? You know, if you add heavy cream or stuff like that, you wouldn't have to use the flour to thicken it. But since mine was a 2% milk, I needed some kind of thickening agent in there because I did not want to crush up all my potatoes. Although you could have put tomato flakes in there, the instant potatoes, if you'd have wanted to. Shouldn't take too long for it to start thickening up. But doesn't that look good? It looks good to me already. I'm ready. I'll go ahead and put this milk back in the refrigerator. I might just put just a tad more of flour in there. Because I want it thick and creamy. Just put a little bit of water in. And then just mix it up, dilute it down in this little bit of water. And I found a fork works the best to mix flour into water or milk or anything. Oh, look how creamy looking that looks already. I put 4 little red potatoes in here with their peelings. And I've got this whole big pot of soup from it. Of course, the pot's not full. It's about half full. Just cook it a minute or two so that flour has time to cook. We don't want to eat raw flour. Isn't that looking good? How creamy it looks already. I'm going to go ahead and turn that off. Back that up a little bit. Tell you what, this looks and smells really good. It really does. Look at that. I guess you can't see it that well. The camera doesn't focus on it very well, does it? But look at that. Isn't that some good looking soup? Dear Lord, bless this food I'm about to eat. Bless all the YouTubers out there. Bless my family, my friends, everybody in need in prayer. Bless the fur babies and bless this food I'm about to eat. Amen. It's hot, but I got to try it. I mean, I sampled it, but hey, you know, y'all take a bite. A mouthful of my Depression era ham and potato soup. Oh my God. Oh, this is so good. I won't mind eating soup this week. I won't mind at all. Y'all take another spoonful. And see, it took very little bit of chopped ham, just about a little cupful. I mean, you could feed a whole family with this pot of potato soup. Potato and ham soup. Look how rich that looks. Oh my gosh. Just look. Y'all fix you some potato and ham soup. Depression recipe. It's really good. I'll tell you what. Those women knew how to cook. That's how come my grandmother, my grandparents, and my mom knew how to cook so well. They came through that Depression era with all those good recipes and how to put things together that normal people would throw away and make a good meal out of it. So y'all try this recipe. I think you'll love it, and you'll probably continue making it. We'll see you on the next one. Love y'all.